welcome to the broadcast. We're a little slow in getting hooked up today, but I think everything's all right now, we hope. My name is Carol Pate. I appreciate you listening and being here. I wanted to discuss a little more in the direction of reincarnation. There's so much to be learned about it, and people don't really understand the importance of understanding reincarnation as a whole. And I was kind of looking at the aspects of people that are racist and people that are cruel to other people, men that are cruel to women, women that are cruel to men, judgments. And what I found out through reincarnation is you get to be about every race there is on this planet. So if you hate another race, you're pretty much part of that race in your next incarnation to experience, to understand. It's not punishment, it's growth through understanding. And if you're a male who beats females or is cruel, you get to be the female, and guess what? You get the person that beat you. Or you may get the wife that you beat in the past life that becomes the husband who beats in the future life or in the now. There's no escaping karma. Karma are basically lessons. They're really not punishments, but they're lessons. And people don't understand fully that we're here to learn, to grow, to experience, and that everything has a pattern to it. And it's really kind of about breaking the pattern, because we repeat those patterns lifetime after lifetime. And according to the individual, we have patterns with the individuals. We have patterns with our parents, our siblings, our relationships, friendships, enemies, loves, and we continue to develop these patterns that turn into programs. And then we have to learn what the program is about, why it's repeating itself, what do we need to learn from it, what do we need to release, forgive with love. That's the purpose of being here. We're not here to be happy, although we can get happiness. That's a part of it. That's almost like a reward system. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to experience. We're here to see how we react. Our reactions are very important. Our reactions teach us our weaknesses. When we overreact to something, that means that we have a great weakness in that particular area, which usually means fear. So I have paid close attention to my clients, and I have tried, and myself as well, because I had to do this along with you. I couldn't teach it if I hadn't walked the walk. And I find that when I overreact to something, there's a trigger there, there is a pattern there, and there's a weakness there. So I have to break it down. Why am I reacting this way? Something's being triggered. What's the word that's triggering it? And I've learned to pay close attention to emotions that come up out of nowhere, because that's coming from a place of weakness as well. Now I'm speaking negative, I'm not talking positive. And those reactions can be based in past lives. And they can be based with specific people who trigger the reaction. Now what do I mean by that? Someone in a past life, maybe several past lives, may have been an enemy. And by their very being in this lifetime, that's enough to begin to trigger a negative emotional response. and a program that gets triggered into being. I really need to teach all of you the kinesiology that would help you dealing with the past lives.
It's on your Facebook page.
Okay, it's on the Facebook page. Please go there, learn the kinesiology, the finger signals. It is so helpful.
It's under videos.
It's under video.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. If you can get this, if you can learn the kinesiology, when somebody comes into your lifetime and you start reacting oddly, you don't know why, maybe you really hate this person, or you feel really awkward around this person, or nervous around this person, or maybe even fearful, you can check it out using the kinesiology. All right, has this person been in my past lives? Yes, okay. How many past lives have they been in? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 past lives, okay. Were they positive in that past life? No. Were they negative in that past life? Yes. Okay. Now every time you get a yes answer dealing with past life in particular, it's a wise thing to do is give 2 taps on the heart chakra, which is right here. 1, 2. That releases that trauma or those negative energies cellularly from the heart chakra and can do healing with the heart and with the body. It's amazing what it can do. But that's only on every yes that you get. Tap, tap. So then you work it through until you find out who they were in that past life. Were they a parent? No. Were they a brother? Or were they a sibling? Yes, okay. Were they a sister? Yes, okay. Tap, tap. Every time you get a yes, tap, tap. Did I do harm to them? Yes, tap, tap. Did that trigger them to want to do harm to me? Yes, tap, tap. You work the scenario through using yes or no answers. Once you've got it worked through, then you can go ahead and forgive it and release. You forgive them and release them as a soul created by God to your way of thinking that has gone askew. And release them with love. Now, it doesn't mean you have to associate with them in the future. It just means that you have forgiven them on this soul level. And that very often is enough to completely release them from the program, from the consciousness, and from future lives, which is really wonderful. So I wanted to give you this technique so you could start using it to diffuse some negative programs, such as the female, and it can be male, that chooses the husband or the spouse to be, because they are cruel to them, maybe even to the point of being physically cruel, like beating them. Find out if they're from a past lifetime. No. Are they from a program from a past lifetime? Yes. Tap, tap. Okay. There's a program that keeps repeating itself, and how many lifetimes? For spousal abuse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. All right. With that, you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 5 times. You can then diffuse the program. Once you've got that achieved, you may find that you are no longer drawn, to your spouse because you've conquered that particular pattern of spousal abuse. And that may change the dynamics of the relationship entirely to where he or she may no longer feel compelled to be abusive. There's strange things that happen when you break these programs. Any program in your life that keeps repeating itself is a program that you need to break. And it can be money. Let's say you have a fear of money. No matter what you do, you drive off money. Find out, is this a past life carryover? Yes. Okay. Tap, tap. Is it from how many past lifetimes did I have trouble with this particular money program? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, another 5. Okay. And that lifetime is the root of money. Was it lack of money? No. Was it too much money? Yes. Then was I rebelling from having too much money? Yes. Then was this family money? Yes, of course, tapping. Okay, so then I now have this thing where I don't want any money. Is there a fear locked into this? Yes. Is that fear of maybe money makes a person bad? Yes. Was my family bad that had that money? Yes. To have chat every time. Okay. You begin to break this program and you'll feel, it's really weird, you'll feel a lightness when you hit that tapping just right, when it's the right one, you feel this lightness and like a weight lifting off of you. And all of a sudden, you don't have the problem with the money anymore. Now all these programs are unique unto you. I'm giving you some examples so that you can work some of these programs through. Because we don't know that we're here to work through these programs. Nobody teaches us this. It's not taught in our church. It should be. We should know that when we're having these repeated patterns, of course people don't even know to look for patterns, I found out. But when we see these repeated patterns in our life that are negative, that these are here to be broken and changed and reversed. That's the neat thing. You can reverse these things. And it goes for food, overeating, illnesses, relationships, patterns with parents, patterns with siblings. I have a lot of clients, God love them, they have so much pain with their siblings. It's like, I have several clients that are, I guess you'd call them scapegoats for the family. The family chooses them out, and everybody, the siblings, the parents, attack them and just emotionally beat them, and they don't know why. Everybody else is doing great, but they're like the outcast of the family. It's a repeated program that's gone down from one lifetime to another. And one of the siblings that was really hard on one of my client was a servant to her in a past lifetime. And she was very wealthy and very snooty, and she considered that her sibling she didn't know, but she looked down upon her like she was still a servant. And how dare she do better than her monetarily? And there turned out to be this huge jealousy. So there's all these little layers and levels that come into play from past lifetimes that get in our way in this lifetime because we're trying to overcome them. And I've had people say, well, how important are past lives? Well, they're very important. They're extremely important. It helps you to understand who you're involved with, because I guarantee you, anyone that is a major part of your life was a big part of past lives, good, bad, or otherwise. So you kind of need to know where they stood in those past lives, so again, you can release them and forgive them and break that pattern that keeps repeating itself. And it can go from male to female, female to male, and back and forth. Another one is how you passed in your past life. It's going to make for huge fears in this lifetime. You may have an unbelievable fear of drowning, or phobias. They make for the phobias that we have. And we have no idea. You have dreams as a little child, maybe that you drowned, that you were on a boat, the boat tipped over and you drowned. And you have this fear. And you don't know why, so your fear of bathtubs, your fear of going swimming, your fear of being close to rivers, lakes, oceans, and it really messes up your life. Well, if you can go back and find out what that past life is, you can make it go away. You can break that pattern. And I'm trying to put a lot of information into a very small, into context that you can understand, or at least I hope you can. If you really look at your lifetime and like the script of your lifetime, you can see where things keep repeating themselves. And that's what I want you to look at. What you might think about doing is getting a sheet of paper and a pen, or maybe a pencil, and write down the patterns that have been difficult for you, repeatedly difficult for you. And then,
Carol, we're having some audio issues. We're trying to get it straightened out, but your sound is cutting in and out.
oh, I'm sorry.
We can unplug the mic, move it closer.
I just
or-
tried that, yeah.
Let's try that. All right.
So
We're
here we go.
sorry. We apologize,
It's
but
okay.
Okay, we're gonna cut the mic. I'll try to set the phone up closer.
Sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
At least I got help. Thank God.
Hold on just a second, let me get this.
we apologize. Yeah, we're still live, but we're getting.
There we go.
You sure we're still?
Yeah, we're
Just-
still live.
we're
Oh
still
yeah, we
live,
are.
yeah.
We're still
We're
live.
live.
Yeah.
Just bear with us, everyone. We're sorry.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Well, at least we're not boring.
Never boring.
Maybe we're a little
I
boring.
need to get this case off. Yeah,
Hey, sign language.
butter
Can't
knife
do
or
sign
something.
language. I need to learn that.
I got it, Heather.
Who's got it?
Thanks for letting us know, by the way, guys. I really appreciate that.
Well, the sound went off in my
He
headphone.
lost it, and then everyone started commenting.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
Well, at least we got people watching.
And we have questions. Oh, and I just lost you too. Okay, here.
You lost me too?
I've got you.
Everybody's losing.
I'm back.
Let me get it back.
Yeah, I can't. I don't even know what's
Okay.
going on.
Are we back?
Yes, we're pulling up questions. You're on. We
I've
got you up.
I've lost live. Yes.
All right, we're gonna go to questions. Because I lost where it was.
I have the first. I remember the one question, and I'm trying to get back to the others. It was the deja vu feeling that you have. Is that from past life experiences?
Yes, they can be. Interestingly enough, you will have, when you go to a place that you lived in a previous lifetime, it's like you know everything that's there. And it's really wild. So deja vu, yes. But it can be that you dreamed about it, and it might be something that actually you were dreaming about in the future. And it can be a spirit attachment that has memories of the place. But yes, overall, it's usually past life remembrance.
Well, as I get to these other questions, you and I each had an experience happen about how to ask.
Again,
Do you want to explain what happened? Not necessarily your incident exactly, but how to properly ask for help
you mean the guides?
when you have an incident like you don't know what to do. So you ask, like your air conditioner.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm a little slow. That's so off the subject. You messed me up.
I apologize.
It's okay.
I'm trying to get to questions. So.
It's all right. It's all right. She was talking about my air conditioning and heating unit went out on me, and I said, "Oh dear God, please help me." Because the guys that told me that it was out said it's going to cost a minimum of $8,000. And I went, "Okay, I can do this, but please, if you give me some help." And Kat called me within a few minutes and said, "I know a guy that handles heat and air, and I think he can do you a really good deal." So she called him. He came out that day and gave me a price $2,000 cheaper. So whenever I get into situations where I really don't know what to do, I ask my guides, "Help, I need some help. Can you send me someone? Can you just give me some information? What steps do I need to do next?" And the phone will ring or something will pop in my mind and I get that information. And once you start doing this, you start working with your guides on a daily basis, which I do. The help is readily available, and you're never really alone, and you can ask for whatever you want, whatever you need. So that's
it.
Yes.
The question, would you please share what you were talking about writing patterns in a notebook, the exercise?
Yeah, that's before the sound room.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, he's the one that told me I put the wrong date on, so thank you.
If you'll take a piece of paper and a pen or pencil and write down your base patterns that they tend to repeat, like abusal from spouse, abusal from siblings, abusal from children, money problems, fear of loss, fear of getting lost, fear of small contained areas, agoraphobia, all your basic fears in general, repeated, and any phobias that you happen to have. And then start going down that list using the Fager technique to find out, did I acquire this? Is this rooted in any of my past lives? And if you get a no, then all right, is this rooted in this lifetime? And you may get a yes, and it may be an experience that you went through as a very small child that scared you or really messed you up, or some trauma that you heard and it sort of implanted itself in your consciousness, and you can work it through. So it's a great technique on getting rid of really bad programs.
And we're still getting people to write questions now. What has happened was, when we had the difficulties, I lost all the questions from earlier. I'm no longer able to see them. I will be able to see them tomorrow.
Okay.
So I can't go back to those. So if someone has a question that has not been answered, if they'll please type it again, and I apologize.
Were there dinosaurs on the ark?
I wasn't there. I know I made you look old. I wasn't there.
I was not implying that. Just trying to ask a question.
I'm sorry. It's been an unreliable day and night. Oh, I remember maybe one. Sorry. How are we doing?
Well, it's slow. How do you do this finger technique? Do you want to go ahead and go over that now, even though it's already on there?
We'll do it again. Okay, ready? Right hand. If you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, you will do your left hand first. Middle finger to thumb, okay? Left hand, encircling, middle finger to thumb. I give my soul permission to hold for the answer no, and pull. I now give my soul permission to break or to open for the answer yes. Okay? Once you've got that put into place, it's there. You do not use this for telling your future, okay? You can use this for your safety. You can say, I've been using it for the COVID-19. Is it safe for me to go to whatever store it happens to be today? If I get a small yes, I usually won't go. If I get mid-size yes, I will usually ask, is there a safer time during the day for me to go till I get a big yes, okay?
Explain what you mean about small, big.
Small is small.
It doesn't come out.
Doesn't come out that big. Mid is like that much. And a big yes is totally yes. And you can have like smaller no's. It can be like a break. It's a no, but not quite. Maybe you're not asking the question just right. You might need to change some of the wording on the way you're asking the question.
A maybe.
Yeah, it could be a maybe. That's when you get into time. You have to really work with this, but you want to make sure you don't lose it. You see, your soul has all knowledge. Your soul is a part of God that is capable of tapping into knowledge of the universe. I know that sounds, but you don't know how much each of you really are a part of God. You just have really no idea, but you really, really are. So that soul level has all knowledge. This is a way to reach that knowledge. You don't have it in your consciousness because you're limited by this body and, in truth, this dimension, this vibration. This way you can override that and get to where you can get that information, and it's awesome. But you don't want to lose it by asking some dumb question where you're going to get an answer that does not prove to be truthful. Because once you lose that truthfulness of it, you've lost it altogether. So you want to handle this respectfully and make sure that you're doing the right things with it. You can't play with it. It's not a toy to be played with. So this can get you through all sorts of situations, like the safety situation. Before I go anywhere, or before I let anyone into my house or close to me, I ask, is this safe for me to let this person close to me? Like I check on all of you before I, sorry, but, you know, I want to make sure. I like to be here for a while. And even you, Steve.
Gee, thanks.
You're welcome. But this is a tool that's huge. You can check past lives. You can check things that you're allergic to, medications that are not good for you or are good for you. There's just a whole range of but it's all yes and no questions. So you got to be creative with your questions using your fingers. So do we have a full understanding on this? Does everybody understand? I'm putting it out there. Do you all understand this? I want a big yes.
Well, I'm holding to other questions. Well, I have a new question.
Okay.
Segue into the soul knowing all, Akashic records. Do they know the past and the future? Are they real?
Yeah, they're rare.
Elaborate.
I'll try. The Akashic records are the records of all past lives through present. I have never gone into future Akashic records. I don't have any knowledge. I have heard people talk about going into future Akashic records. I don't have that experience. I don't know. I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no. I don't know. I know that by every choice that you make in this lifetime, it can send you on a new timeline. Now, what does that mean?
Does it have to do with our free will?
Yeah, God give us this thing called free will. I'm not overly fond of it. I kind of like the idea of the fated lifetime, you know. Let's just map it out, you know. And we, when we're in the light, we do get to map out our lifetime, our future lifetime. We get to set up the roadblocks and the little detours that we make and how we get back. But the thing is that we have all sorts of things that are going on around us. We have past life patterns that are affecting us, past life programs that are affecting us. We have people that are coming into our lives that we give our lives over to them and end up on their path and off of our path. Why? Because we sacrifice, which we're really not supposed to do.
Can you use kinesiology to help you about
Yeah,
that?
you can use this. Am I getting off my path? Yes. Or maybe a huge yes. Or maybe a little bit yes. Because sometimes people are in your life to actually bring you on your path. You have a path together. And sometimes they're put in your life to take you off. Okay? So, back to Akashic records. Your Akashic records are there. They can be looked at. They can be tapped into. There was a technique that I was taught, a long time ago. And that is you hold each other's wrists. Like this. Well, no, I would hold your wrist.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And you would hold mine.
Okay.
The palm to the wrist. Okay? Like so. And you would say, do I have your permission to look into your Akashic records?
Yes.
Thank you. With that, I would then focus on your Akashic records, and I would then go into, I have to stop, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I felt a little woozy there. I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. I was starting to feel a little floaty.
Sorry.
I was gonna let you do
She
it.
can't turn it off, folks.
No, not really.
I was just gonna let you go.
It was, yeah.
Might have been interesting.
You don't have to do that. Anyway, and you can then read the Akashic records. I've seen people do that automatically. Some people have that gift, and they
Wow.
don't know until they've tried it.
So, but you use this to read past lives, which you do past life readings, which is
I
another
don't
question.
do it anymore. I used to.
Okay.
I got a gift where I can go into someone's past life. Okay? And what happens with me is I get their permission to go into, I take their photograph or their handwriting, I touch into it. And if I want to know if they were in a past life with another person, I have that other person's photograph or writing. And I touch both, and I go into this place. It's I don't know what it is. It's U-shaped. And the past life is oddly to the right. The future lives are to the left. And there's, you can go either, or you can go into the continuum, which is straight ahead, which is in that U, which I guess takes you. But I would have thought
That's
that
your technique.
no, that's what was given to me. That's what I was anointed with. And then I have to get their permission, and then I have to see their symbol, which is on a floor of lights. There's a symbol of lights that flashes. And once I see that symbol, then there's a hooded being that points to, and it's this gray, misty looking.
Being.
No,
Oh.
there's an energy there that's gray, misty looking. And I then step into that, and I step into their past life, and I see it. It's wild. It's really wild. I did it with Steve.
Well, that's how you do it to see for allergies and things like that. Is that how you do?
No,
Okay.
no. That's for actually seeing and experiencing the past life. That's where I can get the names, places, and I try to get names, places, date of deaths, stuff like that.
Do you see how they died that way though?
Yeah, I can.
So if that's causing an allergy, like,
That can happen.
okay.
So it's really kind of neat. Back to Akashic Records. Sorry.
That's a big question.
Yeah, they are real. They do exist, and you can look at your Akashic Records. You can be hypnotized, and if you've got somebody that knows what they're doing and they're really good, like Dolores Cannon, she did a great job with that. But take people back so they could experience their past lives, and they could then see where they were making their mistakes in the future and their lives now, and help to correct them, which I think is really super neat. So, yes, the Akashic Records exist. Those are two techniques that I know. The hypnotherapy, well, and what I do, and with the wrists, to get that information.
Did you talk about Edgar Casey and his work?
Edgar Casey, he went into a sleep state, and he could do it that way.
Reference the records from there,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, totally different question now. A question about, you've talked before about how you've been able to help a child that's autistic.
Yes.
The person's wanting to know, if the child is only 3, how do you know how they can tell if they are autistic? Is there any spiritual way to know?
I'm not a doctor.
Right. A spiritual way. Is there a spiritual way to know?
Not really. But you know what? It really doesn't matter. Why not just go ahead and do the prayer? The prayer doesn't hurt anything. It can change a lot of things to the positive. It can't possibly hurt. And if the child has autism, they won't have to experience it.
And that's at carolpate.com.
Yeah.
Under autism, they can find that prayer.
And it's a simple prayer. And if they've been doing the lifting for a while, they can do that prayer for their children. I don't have to do it for them. They can do it for themselves.
Want to remind people that we're not able to answer personal questions.
Oh, no. I don't answer personal questions at all on this broadcast. I am trying to get out information that you can't find. It's hard to find this information, or at least the truth, to my way of belief, I guess, my experience. If you want personal questions answered, you must make an appointment. That's the only way I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it on this. And I can't do it on this. I can't reach out like this to you. You know how many people are reaching back to me? No, I don't think so.
Another question on the kinesiology. Open yes and a stop for no.
Close for no.
It's not going to break.
Right.
Right.
It's a hold for no.
It's
Right.
a hold for no and a break for yes.
The bigger the break.
The bigger the break, the bigger the yes. The stronger the close, the stronger the no.
Okay. Some say past lives, repeating current life instead of living as another person. So what they're saying is, are you repeating as the same person? Can you repeat as the same person from life to life?
Yes. Well, you're always the same person.
You're the same soul.
You're the same soul.
But
what about physical body and same
No.
timeline?
Well,
Well,
Now I've had some people that in past lives, male and female married couple, that in this lifetime they look identical to what they did in the past lifetime and maybe other past lifetimes. So you can carry traits over. It can happen. And you can carry talents over as well. And you can carry over bad traits as well, depending. But you are always the same soul. But you get changed by what you're brought up in, the belief system that you're brought up in. You get affected by all those around you and the atmosphere, and
So you're not truly the same person, you're just the same soul.
you're the same soul. You can be terrible in a past lifetime, but it doesn't mean you're going to be terrible in this lifetime. You may decide that I was a horrible person in a past lifetime. I'm going to be as good as I possibly can in this lifetime, but you may overdo it, okay, by trying to make up for the past lifetime. You have to find a balance. Everything is about finding a balance. You don't want to be too far this way or too far that way. That's where you watch how you're reacting to everything. If you're overreacting to things, you're probably out of balance there. That's what you want to look at.
Okay. Well, there it is. Are new souls still being created?
I don't know. I'm not God. I can't answer that.
And you can't answer how they're created.
No. Not really.
Not with any knowledge.
I mean, I'm trying to give you knowledge that I know to be truth.
And you've never asked that.
I haven't. Well, I kind of asked if there was new souls, and they said there are souls that come here from other places,
So new to this world.
new to this world, and I believe there are new souls.
If a soul is eternal, how could it have had a beginning?
Everything has a beginning, doesn't necessarily have an end.
God have a beginning?
Everything goes like this. Don't ask me that, I'm not God.
Do we ever learn all of our lessons and just get to hang out in the light?
I wish. I wish.
Oh, man.
No, I don't wish. I'd be bored to tears. I'm sorry. I have to have challenge. And I think most people do on a soul level. You're eternal. Do you really want to hang out in the light forever without any challenge or anything really happening? There was an FBI agent, family came to see me, wanted to know if he was in the light. And when I tapped into him, when I made connection with him, he said, I'm bored. I'm ready to come back. I am bored. Let's get on with it. Okay. Your family member's bored. He's ready to get on with it. She said, that's my husband.
Okay, kind of back to the kinesiology.
Okay.
Can it be used to help determine if you have abilities, psychic abilities, to help steer you in what direction would be for you to focus on, like what your major
I never
ability
thought
would
about
be?
that. I would think so. I would think so. You'd have to be really cautious with it. Let me say one thing about the kinesiology. Do not have a pre-concept of what the answer is going to be before you do it, because you can mess yourself up that way. If you go, I'm going to be this great medium. Do I have mediumistic abilities? Oh yes. You mess yourself up, okay? You really want to do this like kind of off the cuff, right then and there. And I'm here to tell you, that's another thing too. On your psychic abilities, you had them as a child. You're not going to acquire those psychic abilities at age 50, or as in one lady's case, 87.
But a life-changing accident could bring them
A
out.
life-changing accident, a hit in the head, Near-death experience can open them up. Yes, thank you.
You're
Yes, it
welcome.
can.
Excuse me, in reincarnation, what happens to, quote, evil people such as Hitler or serial
They
killers?
they incarnate too. They sure
And-
do.
As?
If they don't go into the light, they incarnate as serial killers. They incarnate as terrible leaders, or try to be, want to be terrible leaders. They have to learn. That's why I really think that we should pray for people that are electrocuted, through the law, that are serial killers, bad people. We really should pray for them and ask that they be taken into the light or contact their family members. Because they keep reincarnating. I had one man, the family came to me. Wonderful family, brilliant family. Everyone was doctors. They were all scientists and doctors. And their grandfather was a brilliant man, but he was evil. And he went from one lifetime to the next, acquiring all kinds of knowledge dealing with black magic, every form of black magic that he could find. And he never went to the light. He would incarnate just as quick as possible so that he could learn more. And he was a vicious man. And he did a lot of harm to his children. God, he was a bad man.
And he retained that information from one lifetime to the
retained
next
that
because he didn't go
information.
into the light
Yeah,
and be cleansed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when he died, I got together with the family and we got him into the light. And that changed the dynamics of the family. It was huge. He was doing curses. They carried the one brother who's a doctor, a neurosurgeon. They carried him in because he couldn't feel from the waist down. His father put a curse on him just because he could. Got the curse taken off of him. I sent it back to the father. Father ended up in the hospital.
Which is on your website,
Oh, yeah.
under curses.
Yeah. So,
So can you quickly go into just the mechanics of how that would go about, understanding what you need to do to help someone with a particular curse?
oh, you want me to go into curses? It's on my website.
It is, the prayer is on the website.
Yeah, it's on my website. How to get rid of curses, spells, conjurations, hexes, fixes, damnations. It's all on there.
On the subject of sending the serial killer or the bad person into the light,
If you can.
if you can, correct.
But now on the flip side of that, they're reborn. And you have a child that is killing small puppies and pulling the wings off of flies and bees and being intentionally cruel at about the age of 2 or 3. This is what they call bad seed. This is a child that's been born out of the outer darkness who is carrying all their baggage, their anger, all of those things with them. There's a formula. It's real, I think it's right there with autism, on how to get a soul cleansed by the light, bring them back, and have them sealed into their body again, and they change 100%. That bad seed part of them is gone. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, that can be changed.
I'm not sure if I'm reading this question right. Talking about has a frequent deja vu, like over and over, and it's kind of almost like a dream today, but then in 2 weeks it'll happen. So is that going to? That's more of a premonition than
That's precognition.
Okay.
Yeah, that's precognition. Somehow, and it could be through astral travel. They may be doing astral travel in their dream state, and it brings into effect precognition that they're going to go to that place, and then when they go to that place, they recognize everything there. That wouldn't be past life.
Okay, that would only be that they have the ability to see.
Yeah, exactly.
What I was getting at on the sending into the light, and I'm kind of going on a personal from the journey through you, but was very difficult for me to think about people who had done wrong to me or serial killers being able to go to heaven.
Oh,
The concept just was almost mind-blowing. Would you go into that just a little bit and explain again why we want them to?
Even serial murderers, child molesters, people that you wouldn't even want them to go to the light, because that means they'd go to heaven, and that means they're being rewarded for a sinful, terrible life here. But what happens when they do go into the light? Because anyone can be accepted into the light. I don't care who you are, what you are. If you step into that light, that's Christed light, you're accepted. You are accepted.
No matter what religion you practice,
No matter what religion, no matter what your belief system is, doesn't matter.
No judgment.
There's zero judgment. You step into that light. But the difference is, they go through a life review.
Everyone does.
Everyone goes through a life review. But they get to feel what they have inflicted on others. They get to feel the emotion, and the emotion of the loved ones, of those people that they killed. They need, and it's not a punishment thing. And it's strictly for their learning, for them to learn what is right and what is wrong.
Enlightenment.
It's enlightenment. And a lot of people, it's going to sound, but in some cases, serial murderers are dogged into it by the dark side, by demonic, and can be spirit possessed by the demonic or by serial murderers. It's happened.
So a serial murder from the past could
And
go
attach on to somebody else. I think I mentioned this on a broadcast before, I'm not sure, but a woman came to see me about her brother. Her brother was a farmer, and I think he was in Iowa. Lived a very good life, was a very principled man, a very godly man, went to church, and the police showed up, and they shot him down as he fled, and she didn't have a clue as to what happened. It turned out that he was a serial murderer, and that he did the serial murders exactly the way a previous serial murderer did his murder, like a year before he was gassed. And he apparently attached to this farmer and took him over, and this farmer was doing serial murders in the exact way. Now, I'm going to get a little gruesome here, but I want you to understand. He would take the intestines, and whatever was in the intestines, he would place them on top of the intestines and make them like a picture on the belly of the individual, of the female.
So a very deranged act.
Well, a very specific
Yeah.
act that only that other serial murder did. So there are wild things, and I'm not saying that everyone that kills someone, the devil made them do it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this is a cop-out either. But I've seen some strange things. I had a serial murderer in Memphis, Tennessee. One of my shows is about that. It's called The Wrong Man. He murdered prostitutes. He had a serial murderer that was attached to him and was telling him if he didn't kill the prostitutes, he would have to kill his family. And he went through, I think there was 5 or 7 prostitutes that he killed. One was a transvestite that he killed, thinking that it was a female. And when they locked him up, the police called me and wanted to know what to do because he was so deranged and he was yelling in a different language, which turned out to be Latin. And I told him what to do about putting a circle of salt around him to quiet him down, which they did, and it quieted him down.
What kind of salt?
Iodized table salt, my dear. Yes, on my website. So there are contributing factors, and we just don't know what they all are. They're unique unto the individual, and I would never judge. I can't judge. That's not my place. Nor is it anybody else's place, in truth.
Judge not, lest ye be judged.
That's right. Judge ye not, lest ye be judged.
Amen.
For real. So, understand that God forgives all of us, always. God does not judge us. God loves us. We're God's children. God wants us to do right. And God gives every opportunity. All you have to do is open up. Ask for the tools. Ask for the help. And it'll be given to you, one way or the other, as you're ready and as you ask for it. So just be aware that
He's our parent. He wants to do.
I mean, absolutely. It's like you're a parent. Your child can do no wrong.
You haven't met my
Maybe
kids.
some of them. Okay. You're still gonna love them.
Another couple questions here. Speaking of the demonic, which you just segued into this question, can that affect kinesiology? Can they?
No.
So that's a pure thing that they can't get a hold of.
If you set it up the way I've told you to set it up.
What if they don't start trying till after they're already being influenced by the demonic? Would it foul at setting it up?
Yes. You want to make sure you've done the lifting. Thank you. Do the lifting first. Get yourself completely clear. Good point. Before you put this into place. Okay? Then you're safe. And do the lifting before you start doing the kinesiology. The lifting is called daily lifting. It means do it daily.
Like brushing your teeth, only with your spirit. Spiritual hygiene.
Very good. That way, you know you're doing right with this. And you're asking this on a soul level. Okay? You've given yourself permission as a soul to give you this. That's another thing. Once you get really good with this, it's really weird. Before you get the answer, yes or no, you'll feel and sort of hear this little whisper. That's your soul. It's weird. First time it happened to me, I didn't know what that was. I said, what is this? And is that my soul? Yes. Oh wow. So you can actually hear it, but it's a whisper, which is kind of cool.
Does it come from the right side?
It comes like this.
Okay, so different than anything else.
Yeah, it comes up like this, like from the heart chakra. Yes, from the heart chakra. Up, yeah.
This,
Yeah, last question.
yeah, this is a personal one, but I'm gonna make it a generic.
Okay.
Not my personal. When you have reoccurring dreams, is that if they the same thing repeated? Is that more likely from a past life?
If you've had those reoccurring dreams since you were a child, yes, it's from a past life. If you start into reoccurring dreams, it can be from an attachment. I had a case recently. When I touched into him, I said, you've been having reoccurring dreams of shooting yourself in the head. Yes. Of suicide. Yes. You have a spirit that committed suicide. And I've got to get this off of you, because if I don't, you're going to end up committing suicide because it's dominating your life. He said, yes, but I don't think that could be what it is. He was a psychologist. I said, well, I think it is. Let me just go ahead and do this. Let me do the lifting on you, and then we'll go from there, okay? I don't even want to do the reading on you because what's attached to you is overwhelming you, and I really need to get you cleared from this. And so I did the lifting on him, and I later talked to him. I told him to give about 2 weeks, and he said all the dreams stopped. He said, I don't have the dreams anymore. I don't have the dreams of putting a gun to my head and shooting myself. I said, that was who was attached to you. So reoccurring dreams can be from spirits that are attached to you, or they can be of the future, of a future event. In which case, if you will change an aspect of the dream, it can change the outcome of that event.
If it's negative.
Yeah, if it's negative, you don't want to change it if it's positive. But you're really going to have dreams of the positive, although it does happen. And those dreams usually come 3 nights in a row. Okay? And they're very lucid. So what I mean by change, if you have a dream of getting into a white car wearing a red shirt and you're a passenger and that car has a wreck and you end up dying, all you have to do to change that outcome is don't wear the red shirt in the white car and don't be a passenger. No wreck. Doesn't take anything major to change the event. If you have a vision, some of you people have visions out there. The reason you have the vision is to give you information so you can change the outcome of the vision. So when you have the vision, if you change an aspect of that vision, you'll change the outcome. What good is a vision? It's a warning system. Now you may have a vision of a funeral and you go in there and it's your uncle so-and-so. You may not be able to change that. That's giving you warning, trying to give you some comfort that this is the way it's supposed to be. This is his time.
So when you choose not to wear the red shirt and the white car and whatnot, are you taking a different timeline
You
at
are.
that point?
You
Okay,
are.
yeah,
Yes.
makes sense.
We're going to have to get into timelines. We have people that have been experiencing, when they look back in their past looks different. They chose a different timeline. There'll be different remembrances.
Interesting.
It's explaining some things to me too, like going on lately. It seemed.
Yep, those timelines are wonky.
Can they happen at the same time?
Well, it says in the Bible it can.
Yeah, by location, the spirit or whatever.
I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff out there, people. You ask the questions, I'll try to delve into it. Is that fair?
And the questions that were not answered tonight, we will.
We'll work on them. I'll get you those answers as soon as possible, hopefully tomorrow. It depends on how everybody feels and how everybody's doing. I have my group here, thank God for 'em. My team. What do you call them, Team Carol?
No,
Go Team Carol.
Okay, what kind of time?
lifting.
Lifting.
We're
Yeah,
We got time?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to do the lifting now with everyone's permission. I would please ask the Band of Mercy to remove all unclean spirits, thought forms, elementals, unnamed energies now in the name of Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ, and either place them in protected sanctuary or do whatever they deem necessary with them, and I thank thee. I would please ask the appropriate archangel or angels and the appropriate legions to please remove all demonic entities, energies, influences now in the names of Elohim, El-Jar, Jehovah, Yahweh, Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ, and either place them in protected sanctuary or do whatever they deem necessary with them, and I thank thee. I would please ask the appropriate archangel or angels and the appropriate legions from the appropriate realms or counter realms to please remove all negative beings, entities, energies, influences now in the names of Insof, Shem Farash, Adonai, Shemish, Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ, and either place them in protected sanctuary or do whatever they deem necessary with them. And I thank thee. I would please ask the Glory Band to remove anything that's attached, affecting, or influencing now and place them into protected sanctuary in the name of Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ. And I thank thee. I would ask the Integral Band of Mercy to remove anything that's attached, affecting, or influencing now and place them either in protected sanctuary or do whatever they deem necessary with them in the name of Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ. Good night, and God bless all of you, and thank you. Oh, and my phone number
For personal,
for personal readings, area code 501-888-8056. Thank you for reminding me.
So you're gonna finish right there?